I'm Chef Sean. This is my faithful assistant, my daughter,
Isa.
and we are here to show you. The last episode, I showed you how to cut up some pork chops. Take a whole pork loin, break it down to pork chops. So now I broke them all down. So now we have 10 pork chops here. We've got a nice family all together for dinner. So we're gonna do a little seasoning for them. So the first thing we're adding is some of our seasoned salt, our sea salt, or kosher salt. Cumin. I love some cumin. Next we have some garlic powder. And smoked paprika, opposed to regular paprika, so it gives a nice kind of smoky, it's great flavor. And then last we'll use some fresh ground peppercorns, and we'll get all that mixed together, and then we'll mix everything together so I have one spice blend. So once that's all, oh, looks good. We'll take all this stuff and we'll mix it together. One thing about seasoning, it's very important when you season. You see a lot of, I shouldn't say I think I was told it's bad to say right?
Just a little.
Just a little. We don't say there's a lot of things we don't say. So anyhow, when you're seasoning, you don't want to season too close, because you season like right down here, guess what? You're just everything's gonna lump up right there. So when you season your food, you want to get a little high and it rains down on there. So you want to sprinkle it down so up high. You want to have a nice seasoning over the whole product. So go ahead, season, and then we'll flip it over. So you want the whole thing, both sides, to be seasoned. At the same time, we have a skillet going. We're going to sear those off. When you sear things off, you want a hot skillet. You don't want to use like extra virgin olive oil, because that'll burn right away. It has a very low smoke point, meaning it'll burn before you're ready to sear the stuff. So what I like to use, either use vegetable oil, or I like to use duck fat, get wild and crazy. Right now is we have some clarified butter. So we'll get the other side seasoned up, and we'll show you. So you want it to be smoky. You want it to be nice and hot. You want your pan hot. I'm using a cast iron pan because you can really get the best sear with that. So once we get it all seasoned up, oh, look at her go. It's gonna be a party in the mouth, as they say. So they're seasoned up. So now we're gonna take one of these lovely pork chops, and we will season. All right, so now we've got everything, all our pork chops seasoned up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna sear them now. You wanna get a nice dark sear on them that really seals in the juices and makes them even better when you go to eat them. So you're gonna take your pork chop. The other thing with searing, you want to make sure that your meat or whatever your protein is dry. If it's too wet, it won't sear properly. You won't get a nice color on it. So you want to make sure it's dry. So we'll take our pork chops, and we're going to take them and we're going to put them into our smoking hot pan. So we have a cast iron pan here with our butter into it, and you're just going to add it. And you want to hear oh yeah, that's the magic happening. So you got the sizzle going, the sizzle factor. We got all that going. So you're going to season these up or sear them off. Do a couple at a time. I wouldn't do all of them at once, or as many as you can fit in. You just want to do a couple at a time. You get too many in, and the temperature of the pan will come down, and they won't sear properly. So take your time, sear them properly. You really want to work them with a nice hot pan. They won't stick either. You want to cook them in there. Hear that sizzle? Oh, it's gonna be good. So it's starting to already get a little color, but you want to get even darker. So you want to turn that heat up like a medium heat. Too hot, it'll just fill your house with smoke and burn everything, but you don't want it too cold either. So you want to have a nice medium heat, especially in the house. If you're at a restaurant and you have a huge ventilation system, all kind of stuff, you can crank it up and really go. But in your house, you don't want to fill the place up with smoke and maybe set off a fire alarm. Maybe you meet some firefighters, which is cool if you want to do that. I wouldn't recommend it. So you want to get a nice sear. So it's already searing, and you can see it changes color. It turns, the meat gets a nice color, it's beautiful. And then we're going to cook them in the oven, 350 degrees, about 10 to 12 minutes, and you have a beautiful dinner ready. All right, so now that our pork chops have some nice color to them, the juices are all sealed in, and you'll give it extra flavor. You can tell you're almost there with the searing part. You just see a line starting to form on the pork chops. And you have the sear, and then the nice raw part in the middle. So you're going to take these, and we're going to finish them in the oven, because otherwise they won't finish cooking. You'll have raw pork chops, and you don't want that. It's a two-part cooking process. The sear, and then we're going to finish them in the oven. So we're going to take them out here, put them in our 350 degree oven for about 12 minutes, and then we'll have our beautiful pork chops. Enjoy. So after searing our pork chops, we'll put them in the oven, and we put them in the oven at 350 for about 25 minutes. You want to reach an internal temperature on your pork about 170 degrees just to be safe with it. So our pork is just coming out of the oven now, and oh man, nice and juicy, and just, oh man, it's going to be delightful, and that we'll have some beautiful pork chops tonight. And again, by doing it ourselves, cutting our own pork chops, we just save ourselves a whole lot of time and money. Enjoy. Happy cooking.